This video is brought to you by the DC Sparks YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe to receive notifications of new video releases. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 4 of our Pleasant Valley Let's Play series. During the last episode, we discussed several things about getting started in some mining operations to try to make some money. We were called into the bank by the banker. He heard through the small town grapevine that we were trying to get some business going, and he offered to help us out, which was a big surprise. We weren't expecting to have any help from the bank since we're new in the area. So it's kind of nice that he asked to step in and help, or not asked, but told us we'd be able to take a loan out and he could help us out with that. So I think we're going to get started in some mining operations today, but before we do that, I want to get a couple of guys working on some fields so we can get some money coming in, and we'll see what's out there. So let's pull up our contracts window, if I can click on the right icon, and let's see what we got. We have some cultivating. We still have some plowing, which I think we should probably look at taking some plowing contracts since we have some plows taken care of. We got $42,000. Oh, the plows are over there. I forgot I moved them. Alright. Let's look real quick and see how much is it going to cost us to... I don't want to do that. How much is it going to cost us to lease a couple of tractors here? So lease cost is 15. I want to go with the doubles. Go with GPS just because. So it's going to cost us $21,000 initial leasing cost, and then $4,000 per day to lease those tractors. We're going to make quite a bit of money off of the mining operation for this. Pretty quickly, I hope. So, I think we may go ahead and do that. We're going to take the bank up on their offer, and we're going to borrow about $10,000 right now, which should get us enough operating costs, or operating capital, to be able to lease these two tractors. We're going to lease that one. We're going to lease that one. And then we're going to get set up. Pull over here, get hooked up. I went to the wrong side of that. I wasn't even paying attention. Okay. Added a couple of things in for some realism effects. We've got manual attaching on here now. It was causing some issues on multiplayer a long time ago, so I took it off completely. And I've seen some people using it lately, so I thought I'd add it back on. So yeah, I think we'll get a pretty decent profit rolling today. When we borrowed the money to get started on the mining operation, I'm going to go ahead and buy the truck. Instead of leasing the truck. That way we can begin to build some capital. Alright. So let's pull up our smartphone here. Let's check and see what contracts we have available. And we're gonna take, there's a $10,000 plowing, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $3,000, $10,000. So I got two $10,000 plowing contracts. I think we're gonna take both of those. So we're going to accept that contract, and then the other plowing, that one is by Dennis, and that one is field 37. So we'll accept that contract. Okay, get in our pickup here. I'm gonna guess without looking at the map that 12 and 37 are gonna be kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum here. So 12 is gonna be up here, and 37 is actually right next to the shop. So let's go ahead and go down to field 37. That's probably within walking distance. We could walk back to the shop. So we had quite a few people come out of the woodwork and talk to us about working. Apparently there's quite a few farm hands around here, or people that I guess just need money. Alright, there we go. And yeah, it's not supposed to be owned. Did I not push the button on that? Oh, I guess I didn't push the button on that. What? Oh. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Had a small technical difficulty. Somehow my multiple missions mod got removed from my mods. So, anyway, put that in and we're good to go. We've got, had a name change on the thing there because of it. So, Abella has hired us to do Field 37. And here we are getting ready to plow 37, so we're going to hire a worker. All right. Okay, so field 37 is a go. Next we'll do field 12. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, it's because I'm not. You know, I mess this up every time. Yeah, it's what I did. Well, interesting. Maybe I'm having a mod conflict. That's really interesting. Yeah. Right control F. That's what I'm pushing. Interesting. Not real sure why that's happening. Okay. Well, that's gonna break our realism just a little bit. We're gonna have to run this down and get this started. Maybe it's because it's leasing. I've never run into an issue like that before. Alright, so this should be field 37, which should be up. Yeah, oh nope, 37, 12 should be up here. So we'll do that one. I guess we're walking back. So I ran into an interesting concept, and I wanted to kind of brainstorm it a little bit. If anybody's got any ideas, you can please feel free to leave some comments below and let me know what you think. Was introduced to a concept called subscriber mods. Basically what that would do is that would allow anyone that's viewing any one of the YouTube videos to submit a contract to me, not like an in-game contract, but allow somebody to put in an order for, say, wood chips or something like that, and then I would have to figure out a way to fit it into the storyline and be able to deliver the goods and get the money from that contract. And I wanted to try it out, wanted to think about what you guys thought about doing subscriber contracts. If somebody had an idea for one, they could submit it, in the comments, or they can send me a message, and we'll go over the specifics on how that might work for the specific contract. So, got to remember that I am playing on seasons, so we have to do it based off of the season's year. that's already set up in the game. And as you guys can see, I'm running on 24-day seasons, so they're pretty lengthy. So it would be a long time before your contract was fulfilled. If you ordered something to be planted and grown and delivered, it may not be delivered this year, so we'd have to work out some time scales on that. But I'm more than willing to work that out with anybody that's wanting to do any kind of a subscriber contract. We're looking at ways of fitting it into our multiplayer, at least I am, fitting it into our multiplayer Twitch streams as well. So if you've got any ideas or input on that, oh, I'm going to have to touch that up. I didn't get it far enough left. Yeah, well, it'll do good for now. All right. So I think it's a pretty novel idea to do a subscriber contract. So if you say try to fit it into the storyline of you needed, let's say 100,000 or 200,000 liters of wood chips for your family to be able to burn during the winter, so that you could keep your family warm. And you told me how much you were willing to pay for the wood chips and when you needed them by. Say you needed them by next winter. That would give me time right now to be able to get them planted, get them harvested. And obviously wood chips work a little bit different in seasons with weather than regular crops do. But if you needed, you know, certain number of oats or something for your horses or whatever, you would turn something like that into me, and then obviously I would have to completely do the whole thing. Like I would have to work all of the field. I'd have to use one of my fields to do it, and it would basically be coming in just to take care of your mission. And it works a little bit differently because with in-game missions, like the two that we just took, I have one job to do on that field, and when I'm done, then I'm completely done with that field at that point. So it makes it kind of interesting to do it this way because it adds some more depth to the storyline. So again, if anybody wants to submit any kind of a contract for that, I'd be willing to take that. I may still have some time. We are only on day 3 of early spring, and depending on how these mining operations go, I might actually get some money in and be able to buy some fields and get some stuff worked this year. That'd be kind of nice. So the options are there. Okay, so we're gonna do the mining operation. We're gonna do this right. We need to get us a truck, and I've got quite a few options in here for trucks on what we can do. I really like, I think it's this version. Yes, this version of the Peterbilt. I really like this one. Been using this one in my multiplayer games. And this one here is just the first version of it. We haven't removed that. I like this one. This one's pretty good for mining and or logging. And it's got some options for multiple axles as well. Whoa! So like this here actually looks like a mining work truck. And it's got some good options for some bumpers. Get some headache racks in it. So I think we may look at doing that one. Now I did add, we're on our multiplayer, we're talking about messing around with some of the weights, the mass on the fill types. So I did add the fill type mod on here to adjust the masses, and I want to see how that affects the gameplay. Kind of test it out and see how realistic it is. I've also wanted to look at this one. This is the Western Star. Looks a lot like the other one too. It's got that drop axle on it. Some good exhaust types. Got quite a few options in it. Let's see. Bumpers. Got a nice heavy duty bumper on the front. Looks like 455 horsepower is about the best we're gonna get on that one. If we come down here, where's that? Looks like we only got one engine size, and it's a 600 horsepower. Basically the same truck, I think. I think this one's probably going to serve us better for low loaders and whatnot as far as looks go. Let's go with mud flaps. Go with some good exhaust. We don't need GPS, obviously. That's a logger rack. We don't want that. Let's go with a toolbox. And I like the bull guard in case we run into a deer. So we're looking at about $150,000 for that. And then for trailers, we're gonna need... Where's my favorite one? I got my favorite one right here somewhere. This one right here. Holic Live bottom trailer. I like this trailer. This is a really nice trailer. So we need 63, so that's putting us up about 210. What we're gonna need for that. Now this trailer does hold quite a bit, so we're gonna have to make sure that that semi is gonna let us do what we need to do. We may have to look at getting a bigger semi for it. And then we're also gonna need a low loader, and I may lease this one. I think I'm gonna lease this one. We are gonna have to buy a front loader though. Ooh, I wonder how much does that hold? 45,000. That's still quite a bit of money. Okay. So let's look at wheel loaders. We're gonna go with the duals. Get the big engine. That's gonna run us 213. We may end up having to lease that one too. Yeah, I think we might lease that one. Actually, we might lease the whole thing because that's going to give us better options. As far as money goes, it'll be less spending. Alright, so let's go to the bank and borrow. Let's start out, let's just borrow, turn our loan up to 100,000. We already borrowed 10, so that gets us another 90. And then we can get our truck. And this way too, if we end up, the truck doesn't work out the way we want it to, here we go. Get that one. Mud flaps. Exhaust. No GPS. Toolbox. and we're going to get that one. We're going to lease this. We're going to get our low loader set up here. So let's go ahead and get I don't know that we need all of that. Can probably get by with a short Fontaine. We'll get a Fontaine deck. Yeah, we don't need the rear tongue. Actually, I wonder. I think it'll hook up to this. Because I think this one's got... no? There we go, extra wide. I think it'll hook up to this, I'm pretty sure it will. And let's put that. And get it in our orange here. That looks pretty good. Lease. And before we go too much further, let's look this up and see. Let's make sure that we're going to be able to hook up that. Oh, wow. Yeah, that camera kind of flipped us around a little bit. Look backwards, inside off. We'll turn that. That way we don't automatically look backwards in this truck. Oh, feels like I ran over my low loader. Probably should check my other mirror. There we go. Did I get the wrong? Oh, there it is. Okay. So that was weird. I didn't see the trigger to hook up pop up. All right. See. Yeah, we're over that. Huh, maybe I have to get out and get back in to get the triggers to show up because of manual attaching. Okay. Pull it us over here in our lot. So they did hook up to each other. That looks good. We'll go ahead and disconnect that. We're gonna pull up a little ways. Alright, so then we can come over here, we can get our wheel loader. We're gonna get the doubles. Yeah, I think we're gonna get the doubles. We're gonna get the big engine. We'll get it in New Holland blue. We gotta get a wheel loader bucket. Cannot forget the wheel loader bucket. And we're gonna get the monster one. Okay. 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 This should be good to go. Come over here. Just load it up. Ooh, that wide deck still not going to be wide enough to take this whole thing. Alright, set the park brake. Turn off the engine. Well, most of it fit on there. That was pretty good. Okay. So we'll get in here. Get hooked up, and we'll take this up to start our mining operation. There we go. Okay. What is going on around here? Oh. Well, that's pretty interesting. We don't have anywhere to sell anything. Interesting. All right. Reset. Hey everybody. So I just, if you noticed, just did a cut real quick to a different position here. I had to pause the video recording deal for a second, and if you'll notice, my tractors are back. And you might also notice that if you look at the seasons, we are back on day 1 of early spring. So 2 technical difficulties today. Actually, I guess you would even say 3. 1, at the beginning of the video, I dropped my multiple missions off, so I had to take an intermission for a second and fix that. That's back on and working. Second, right at the end of the last video, you'll notice that these were gone and weren't there anymore. Like, we couldn't sell anything. I've gotten them back. Had to do some voodoo, but it did cause me to lose 2 days on my seasons, because I basically had to reset seasons. There was a map update and a change to how seasons handled everything, and it messed me up. Luckily, we didn't have any crops that were ours on the field. We were only on day 3 of spring, and it's a fairly early save game, so I'm not really that upset about it, other than we're now on day 1 of spring. But all of our finances are still the same. Everything else is still pretty much on par. So the third technical difficulty I was having is, if you noticed, I tried to use the follow me mod earlier and it wasn't working. Something was causing a conflict with it. Don't know what it was. Seems to be working now. I tested it out while I was fixing these other technical difficulties. So between the first part of the recording and this ending here, this is going to put me just over a half an hour. Going to go ahead and probably call it for this episode of this Let's Play series. And I will start up my recording. We will start some of this back, get some contracts done. Again, I had to, basically, I lost the progress on those contracts. They're gone because I had to reset my save game. So I'm going to call this episode here. I did do some work. We still have the vehicles that we leased. We still have this equipment here that we've leased so that we can go do some things. And I will see you guys again on the next episode. Thank you, and happy farming.